Alright, shalom, shalom, shalom. So, okay, shalom. Okay. All right. I get shalom again. I want to give all praises. Kala Allah, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Akakodash. The blood of the apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to that came pushing this word sincerely and in truth. This is Kazak from James, Jamaica, Portland branch, and this evening we'll do a quick lesson. So, okay, quick basic lesson on or a response to this video. All right. Now this is a video from uh, obviously, as you can see, a woman from her name is Ayaso Talks, right? And she's basically um, speaking of her discovery or her stumbling onto the truth about us being the biblical children of Israel. All right. So it seems like this is something that's new to her, right? She's even saying that she's surprised when she find other people on the internet talking about it. It's obvious if you listen to the entire video, which brothers can go or whosoever can go ahead listen to the entire video. I do encourage brothers to do a lesson on this as well. If they want to. Um, But yeah, she seems very enthusiastic about finding out that information, us being the biblical children of Israel. So what I'm going to do, for the edification's sake of anybody who is new to this, or even the sister herself, um, so that just to give a basic breakdown of the subject. All right, you know. Um, and it's been a while since we go back to basic, so that's where we're gonna take it this evening. All right, so we'll start off with let me get let me just pull this up. All right, just bear with me a second. I'll pull up this Bible up. All right, so as I was saying before, if you watch our video, she goes into she brings out a couple of scriptures. She also mentions the promise, and I think that's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with the promise that was made to Abraham. All right, Genesis. You know, uh, something for a while for Lord. Some say I can't find it in the Bible and stuff. All right. So we're gonna start with again, as we said, we'll start with the promise made to Abraham. All right. So this is Genesis Let's share this tab. Okay. All right. So we have got Genesis. We'll start at chapter 15. And, all right. So this is Genesis chapter 15 and verse 12. It says, and when the sun was going down, so okay. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, know for surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. That is referring to the nation of Edom, right? The Edomite race, according to the scriptures, you know, which, oh, Salakia. Okay, yeah. So that nation who we shall serve, is referring to the Edomite race, or the so-called white man. The so-called white race, the ones that brought us over here in slavery. And that was not the only instance of us being persecuted by this nation. But that is the that is what um ultimately the prophecy goes into. Us serving hardcore bondage under these nations. Now, when you mention slavery, it has lost its power. That the whole idea or the whole history pertaining to our enslavement, the more years go, the more the time goes by, it's the less and less significant um, that event is made to seem, you know, because of a surety that's not something that's being taught in a lot of schools right now. You know, even if it is taught, there is not let me say, they don't go into detail, like really go into detail of what happened during that time. You know, there's not a lot of details. Oh, they thought you hear about a few rebellions or a few little, you know, scuffles that take place. Them tell about cotton and the sugar. But the atrocities, like the things them that people face day by day, them things they get really brushed over. So the whole idea of slavery it seems insignificant. And when you look at other races, other nations, and by the way, when we speak of nation, I'm not referring to like the land that these people come from, but I'm talking about the nation, like the people, the the gene, you know, the heritage of a people. You see me? When you look at nations like the Edomites, for example, the so-called white man, these people, they have a rich history, or so they make it seem, because a lot of their history contain lies. A lot of their history is stolen. You know, but but yeah, but just using them as an example. When it comes to history, there are a lot of things, a lot of history that we know of includes the so-called white man in one way, shape, or form. Whether, or I should say, the most famous historical records, that is, and I'm gonna put it in context, that is known by us over here on the West. right? Most of the history known by us over here on the West contains or has something to do with the white race. You know, whether I want to be Christopher Columbus, um, uh, the history of America, you know, certain inventions, certain historical feats, certain scientific findings, in some way, shape, or form, these things that we know, right? The popular belief or popular knowledge, right? Is me common knowledge, I should say. You know, it's always about the so-called white race. You see me? When you go over into the east, you know, all of these other nations, all of these other cultures, they have a rich history, you know, and their people actually know their history. But when it comes to us as a people, you know, I mean, the the biblical children of Israel, the true children of Israel, we don't know we history, we don't know we heritage, we don't know a lot of things about ourselves to this day. You know, the most we know is that um we were we were slaves. You know, that's like one of the biggest thing them what we know of our history, but we don't know a lot of people don't know where we actually come from, because we're still of the mindset that we're Africans or we come from Africa. But when you check Africa, you know, it's a whole heap of different cultures in that one landmass. There's a lot of different countries, a lot of different people in that one landmass. The only the major um the major, what's the word. All right, the most common thing, or the major thing where Africans, you know, people on the continent have in common is that them have dark skin. As the most of the people in that land have dark skin. That's the major thing that people share in common. But on a genealogical level, you know, they're totally different people. Every one of them different from each other. You see me? And that is how the Most I set it up, right? So not because them have black skin don't mean say we and them are the same people. You see me? It just happened that we ended up among them, you know, for a period of time during a certain event, and we're gonna get into that eventually. All right, so let me go back to the precept. Uh, Genesis 15 and verse 12 again. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. Right. So in the end, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, in the Hebrew, the correct name to say the Lord's name, Yahweh Shai. So like Yahweh being the name of the Father, Yahweh Shai, the name of the Son, right? The true Hebrew names. You know what I mean? They're going to judge the Edomite race, which again I say is the white race, the so-called white people. Um, he's gonna judge them, you know what I mean, and the things that we went through under their hands, they're going to go through it under our hands. And I mean, and that's what the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua had said. He's the one who set it that way, you know. He said, will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance? And that's us, we, right? Children of Israel. Um, right. So at the end, when these nations get judged for what they have done unto us, we are going to reap all the substances of the earth, because originally the earth was created for us. You know what I mean? The earth belongs to Jacob according to the scriptures. You get me? That's why it says the meek shall inherit the earth. Who is the meek? Children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. All right, so now we go to Genesis 17, and oh, let me click next verse instead of next chapter. All right, so now this is Genesis 17 and 1. It says, and when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. All right, okay. And will multiply thee um, exceedingly. All right, and Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Right? So Abraham, um, okay, it says, thou shalt be a father of many nations, meaning that yes, he might go have many sons. However, um, according to the chosen line or the chosen lineage, which goes all the way down to Jacob and the 12 sons. That is the many nations that the scripture is referring to, or that the prophecy was referring to. I mean, it says, um, he shall be a father of many nations. Salaki, I'm try remember the precept. Um, yeah, it says a company of nations. Where is it again? I think, yes. So, mm, all right. Me not find it, but we can skip past that because it's not all that necessary. But yeah, the company of nations. It's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel and how we are going to multiply exceedingly. And become great nations, right? So each tribe are gonna become their own nation. You know. Um. So, father of many nations. All right, it says, verse 6, and I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. All right, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. Right now, um, the seed it's not referring to every single child what Abraham had. What I mean? Because he had other sons apart from Isaac, right? See, so there's a particular seed or a particular line that the Mosai was dealing with. So when Isaac came on the scene, he also had two sons, right? Esau and Jacob, and that promise that was made unto Abraham went through to Jacob, right? So the covenant that was established between the Mosai and Abraham, was inherited by Jacob, right? And then the 12 sons. See, it says, verse 8, and I will give unto thee and thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. All right. Um, See, so that was the promise made unto our foreparents, our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, now we get to the history, right? So we're gonna go. I have to say that was the history. So now we are good to the prophecy. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Right? So this is what was said unto the children of Israel. If y'all keep these laws, keep these commandments, right, which it's not just the 10 commandments, right? There's 613 laws, that we should follow. Um, but that in itself deserves a lesson, because we don't really want to stray the point. But yes, there's 613 laws, right? And those laws and commandments were given unto the children of Israel to observe and to do, to keep. These laws were meant to separate us from the other nations, meaning um the things that we sorry the things that these other nations do, we shun, and we have a different, our culture different, our laws different, our judicial system is different. You know what I mean? No, we don't practice incest, we don't practice adultery, we don't practice idolatry, we don't practice for steal, lie to each other. You know what I mean? The law was set up like it's like an ecosystem, right? The law was set up, you know, um the way how you see an ecosystem work. So everybody responsible for each other, right? That's why the scripture tells us, one of the greatest commandments is to love your neighbor as yourself. You know what I mean? Or you love your neighbor as yourself. The things that you would not want your neighbor to do to you, you don't do to your neighbor, and vice versa. You know what I mean? The things that you would want your neighbor to do for you, you do unto your neighbor. You know what I mean? Live peaceful, live brotherly. Seeing, that's why you have laws like, so like you're not supposed to covet your neighbor, right? Don't covet your neighbor things. Don't don't take your neighbor animal, right? Don't take your neighbor wife. Um don't chastise the neighbor, right? Most of these laws have to do with um integrity. Seeing, that's it, integrity. And the thing when we actually realize is that a lot of our people, and this is just a side dialogue, a lot of our people, especially the men, we do not believe in integrity anymore. What the man them believe in is street cred or street code. You see me? They not believe in integrity. That was just sidetrack. But continuing the scripture, Deuteronomy 28 and 1, it says, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God would set thee above all nations of the earth. You know, so let me go Deuteronomy. That's just to pull a quick side precept for sure. To prove a point. So this is Oh, wait, that. Okay. Ah, there we go. Alright, now it's a mix though. This is not 6 but 4. Alright, so just a quick side precept. We have this is Deuteronomy 4 and verse 5. Alright, it says, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye shall do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Right? So those 10 commandments and are I should say those 613 laws, I mean, were given unto us, right? For wisdom and understanding, because a lot of the other nations were without laws. So there was beast like. You know what I mean? Them they just do anything. You know, when you watch certain movies depicting what Roman society was like, you see how the people them behave lawless. You know, naked, them nasty. Seeing if the markets them just nasty. You see me? The people does nasty have street toilets. People just do whatever they want to do. People just kill, steal, rob. The leaders them was messed up. You see me? So when you have when you're without laws, when you're without a certain level of integrity or morality, that a how you behave. You see me? Seem like the way of them depict Roman society in these movies. You know, no, this is what the law was basically set up to do. You see me? It was not the end all be all, but part of the law was to keep us for basically give us wisdom and understanding. So that's why you have laws where teach you how to eat. So like a teacher, what to eat, what not to eat, what to wear, what not to wear, how to farm, how to keep yourself clean, don't even down to sex. You know what I mean? What you're supposed to do after you have sex. What you're supposed to do um um when not to have sex. You get me? Right? Yeah, you have laws that teach you how to keep your house clean. You see me? Keep yourself clean. See, keep it from getting diseases. You see me? This are that are where the law, you know, really uphold. You know what I mean? Uh yeah, these are the things where the law basically uphold and support. You see me? Keeping yourself clean. So that's why it would be um let me just finish it. It said, In the sight of the nation, we shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. See? Yeah. So these laws, the laws them key provide laws such as not committing adultery. You know what I mean? Yeah, transgress against a neighbor by sleeping with his wife, because then that gonna cause a neighbor to either have hatred towards you, you know what I mean? You also gonna mess up a family, you're gonna destroy a family, you know what I mean? You're gonna destroy a relationship between a man and his wife, you see me? So the laws perfect. You know what I mean? These laws We're perfect. So that's why the scripture say, oh, even in a same Deuteronomy, Abraham say, sorry, not Abraham, Moses say, I've put in front of you life and death. Choose life. You get me? So, yeah, so these laws, statutes, and commandments were literal, breathing life into our people. See? All right, so let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 again. It says, and it shall come to pass if thou hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Is it? Say, blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. All right. So, yeah, that basically solidifies the point that hit the nail on the head. If we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, our people would be blessed. Um, Everything we will do, I just be a blessing, you know. However, let's go down. We jump to verse 15 now. Um, Verse 15, Deuteronomy 28, it says, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right, so now we're going to go down and go into some of the curses that would follow our people. But before we go into the curses, let us grab Daniel 9 and 11. All right, this is Daniel 9 and chapter 11. It says, um, verse 9, it says, to the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. Right? So going back to Deuteronomy 28 and 15, it says, if we don't keep the laws and commandments, right, all these curses shall come upon us. All right, Daniel chapter 9 and 11 say, oh, all Israel transgress, therefore the curses have been poured out upon us. So now we're going to show you one of the very important, or one of the more significant curses that was poured upon our people. All right, over that verse. All right, so this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. All right, it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And I have me actually forgot say may I do a response to the young lady video. Totally forgot say may I do a response to her video. Um, so let me play some of what she said, and then we can go back in at the breakdown. Just listen to her for a minute. No, this is where a lot of people might yeah, well, this is normal. This are gonna happen, you know, pushing the whole Africa vibration. It normal. People gonna do that because she just get exposed to the truth. She probably don't know. Well, obviously she don't know everything as yet, but if she's genuine, given time, she will eventually come to realize, it's not an Africa thing, it's not about Africa, it's just about people of Israel. We have our own land that we belong to, what I mean? And we're gonna get into, as a matter of fact, we're right at the point where it concerns Africa. So I'm gonna just pause our ears for a second and get into it. All right, so one of these have to stop. Now, as it concerns what she said about Africa, um, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And yeah, she did mention that we would end up serving other gods. She say every nation that or everywhere that we were carried, we'd end up serving their gods, and that is true. 'Cause even over here in America, our people have become accustomed to Christianity, which Christianity is not what we're about. I mean, we're Israelites, not Christians, and yes, I do understand that the word Christian was used, I think, once in the scriptures, and it was really a derogatory term. It was just a mocking term. Them just say, "Hey, the Christians, re." You get me? Um, but and it really just means a follower of Christ. But given today's the modern idea of Christians, we don't subscribe to that. What I mean, and we don't need to because we're already Israelites. That's what our main thing is. That is our um, heritage. So that's what we really should be embracing. We don't need to embrace Christianity. Furthermore, Christianity has have given us a whole different identity. you know it has given us a different God to serve as well. So yeah, we don't subscribe to Christianity. We subscribe to our heritage, which is being an Israelite. um okay. All right. Oh yeah. Let's go back to this. Um, so okay. Okay. Yes. The scattering. So we are gonna go to. We are go. Um. All right. And all right. So this is another prophecy that was laid out at the time of Yahushai, who, as I said before, is the name of the Heavenly Father's Son. All right, who the world called Jesus. Um, all right, so this is Luke. This is Luke 21 and verse 20. It says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled, right? The abomination of desolation. When you go back to Daniel, all right? This is, let's see if we can get it real quick. Daniel. All right, it's coming up. Um, where are they? Uh, okay, yeah, see, man. All right, so this is Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that is found written in the book. All right, hold on. Okay, yeah, Sita. Um, okay, here we go. So this is Daniel 12 and verse 11. Right, 12 and say, and that, so like, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make it desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. So after the daily sacrifice was taken away, going back, and I go back into histories that I refer to the to when Antiochus Epiphanes, you know what I mean, um take away the daily sacrifice. That is recorded in the book of Maccabees, right, in the Apocrypha, right. So after that time, um, the abomination of desolation took place, which Pompey we basically get sacked by Rome. But let me see if we can get it here. Um, how am I do it? Oh yeah, from Babylon to Timbuktu. All right, so this is an excerpt. Close. All right, so this is an excerpt from the book. Which page am I there? Page 84. Okay, just want to show on the front that this is the book from Babylon to Timbuktu. This is just a PDF of that book, or a copied version of the book. All right, back to page 84. All right. So page 84, there's an excerpt right here will tell you about the abomination of desolation. Um wait persecution and can these factors are operate and give rise. Okay, yes. So here alright, one day I should I go this first. Alright, let me read this first. Alright, we'll go back to the abomination of desolation. Um Salakia. Hopefully, whoever watch can follow. All right. So this is again Luke 21 and 20. All right. Let's see. Ooh, can't create no more call this, but whatever. Luke 21 and 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And when it's mountains, is referring to like different countries, um, literal mountains as well. But either to get into certain places, you'd have to cross certain mountain range, and then way there. So yeah, flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, depart from Judea, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. So all who, the travelers, all who was already out of Jerusalem, don't come back. All right. It says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And it was, as me read a while ago, it was written of in Daniel 12, verse 11, the abomination that make it desolate. Um, their conscience are fulfilled, but one to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into. Ooh, and they shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. All right, let's unpack. Um, is it they shall fall by the edge of the sword, right? So Jerusalem was sacked, by the Roman armies. I mean, people were put to the slaughter, men, women, and children. Some of us, however, did escape and fled into the mountains, which um, we basically ended up in Africa, all right, mainly on the west coast of Africa. See, so now we go to Babylon to Timbuktu. As a matter of fact, before me even go this again, oh yeah, we could go to Babylon to Timbuktu first. All right, I'm gonna read from page 84. I'm gonna start right here. It says, "To this statue, the people brought sacrifices of pig meat, the animal which is an abomination to the Jews. Because of this religious persecution, the legitimate high priests um, and many other Jews fled into African countries such as Egypt, Ethiopia, and Cyrenaica, which is Libya, right, throughout the last 2,500 years. The main factors that have contributed to the social migration of the Jews were wars, religious persecution, and commerce. What I mean? So for a good while, it's always this has always been a thing, because you have laws set up um as well for sojourners, like Israelites who were just travelers who traveled to different nations, different countries, etc. So there was always, Israelites or Jews outside of Jerusalem at any given time. Um, so he said the migration of Jews were wars, religious persecution, and commerce. So yeah, it's our people have Eve. So among Salakia. So outside of the Jews or the Israelites that would do a lot of traveling, you also had um, other Israelites who would just leave Jerusalem because of certain things, as the book said, wars or religious persecution, which we suffered that under the hands of Antiochus Epiphanes. We suffered under the Romans, as we're about to read, Babylon, Assyrian. We've been into a lot of captivities, you know. We have a run we left for place. Um, Many times for like years, you know, generations upon generations, decades, not eons, decades, millennials. You know, we've always had to be moving, you see me? Because we always get persecuted. Why? It goes back to our disobedience, right? As I said, these curses are befalling us. Um, it says all these factors were operating and gave rise to the African Jewish population. Just right, the African Jewish population. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrage, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Um, and it had a reference the scripture when I'm about to read. It says, and the Lord shall, so like I want to read already. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. There thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. All right, it says this prophecy and all the residue of the prophecies contained in Deuteronomy 28 and 15 to 68 befell the black Jews, or so-called black Jews, after they disobeyed the laws of God. Many nations transported the Jews into slavery, and the sons of Israel transmigrated to every continent. All right, so a lot of people, you know, moved on their own, you know, but during the transatlantic slave trade, you know, we were removed from mainly the west coast of Africa, right? Because that's where a lot of our people fled to. Um, it says the Jewish philosopher Philo, about 40 BC, right, who lived in Alexandria, Egypt, said that 1 million Jews resided in Libya and Egypt from the Catabathmos to the borders of Ethiopia. Professor uh, A. Godby says that Philo leaves us doubtful about which boundaries of Ethiopia he meant. I think that Philo meant the western and southern boundaries of Ethiopia because the prophet Zephaniah mentioned from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, the daughters of my dispersed. There was a period of over 600 years between Zephaniah and Philo, and considering the new wave of immigrants coming into Africa, they had 600 years to penetrate toward all the borders of Ethiopia. All right, all right, and that is from the book From Babylon to Timbuktu. All right, if you're interested, you can grab yourself a copy on Amazon. So let's go back to the scriptures now. We're gonna read. So now we're gonna read again Genesis. Sorry, so like a Deuteronomy 28, and we're gonna go to verse 68 now. Right, so now this I got clear up the whole African thing and how we got here. So this is Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Right? So let's unpack that. It says, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, our people were serving bondage under the Egyptians, right? And when you go back to it, the Egypt basically means um double straits, you know what I mean? Or yeah, double straits. Or the word straight means a position of difficulty. So in other words, slavery, right? The Lord will bring we into slavery again, but this time by ships, because obviously the last time we were in Egypt, we walked there and we walked out. We walked in with Jacob and we walked out with Moses. You know what I mean? Um, Egypt again with ships, it says, by the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We will not go see our land, right? The nation of Israel. So like the land of Israel, I should say. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Alright, slave man, slave woman. No man shall buy you, meaning nobody are go redeem us. No one would redeem us from the hardcore slavery or the hardcore bondage we are gonna go through. And yes, we this prophecy was eventually fulfilled on our people, right? That's how you have the transatlantic slave trade, right? As I said before, most of our people were taken from the west coast of Africa. Them always like to mention. Some people always like to mention that Africans sell Africans into slavery, or black people sell black people into slavery. You know what I mean? Which is true to some degree. As I said before, not because you're black, no means that we're all the same. See me? Majority of the people them in Africa right now have dark skin, but they're not all the same. The Nigerians are different from the Sudanese. The Sudanese are different from the Rwandans. You know, the South Africans are different from the Ethiopians, you see me? And we the Israelites are different from a lot of these people, you see me? Yes, some of these African nations predominantly carry a lot of our people, like Nigeria, for example. A lot of our people live in Nigeria. A lot of Israelites live are grew up in Nigeria. You know, a lot of our people reside in places like Kenya and Zimbabwe. But the true-blooded, or the full the how am I say um the the Ethiopians, from on a genealogical level, they are not Israelites. We are not. They are not the same as us. Yeah, same thing with this a lot of the South Africans, right? Same thing with a lot of um the Sudanese. You see me? A lot of them, as me said, now because I'm black, that means that we're the same, right? A lot of them are heathen. Some of them are Cushites. Some of them are uh uh I can't remember some of these African. Some of them are Canaanites. Some of them are Cushites. Isn't it? Some of them are Hamites, right? Yeah, that all these nations have their true biblical names. Isn't it? But yes, yes. So we and the Africans. I don't even want to say Africans, because, as I said earlier, not just one set of people live in the land. So we can't say we and the Africans, because a lot of our people are identify as Africans living in on the continent of Africa. You see me? But yeah, not all of them are not all Africans are the same. You have white people. Yeah, in South Africa, there's a huge white population in South Africa. You see me? But that's because them are African. I mean, we and them are the same. You see me? And also bear in mind that this thing don't go by those. It don't go according to skin color. You know what I mean? It goes according to the seed, right? And yet the seed can get mixed or mingled with any other female from, so like if the seed can get mingled with females from other nations. It don't mean say it change. You're still an Israelite, even if you come out looking white, even if you come out looking like a Indian or Chinese. You're still an Israelite once your forefather is an Israelite, right? It goes back all the way back to the seed of Jacob, all the way to the seed of Abraham, you know. Um, so yeah, yes. What am I gonna say again? I think we did have one more thing I wanted to add. Look, hmm, check my notes. Okay, let's go to. I think we did read this Ezekiel 20 and okay, Ezekiel 20 and 34. Uh, right. So we went over, the promise made to Israel, the blessing, and the curse. Um, we disobeyed, so therefore the curse poured out upon us. Um, Part of the curse is show that we're gonna be scattered among all the nations, and we're also going to go into bondage by ships, which basically was fulfilled by those that came over on this side predominantly. You have the Judites in America. Well, predominantly in America, predominantly is where the Judites reside. But overall, you can call it say all tribes reside in America, really and truly. Isn't it? But predominantly in the Caribbean, you have Benjamin, along with other tribes as well, isn't it? But predominantly, we are Benjamites, through the spirit. Um, we've we were well, the the prophecies already tell us, where um each tribe would reside in at the end, you know. So that's how we able to know say, oh, okay, so predominantly this is where Benjamin resides, and this is where Asher or Issachar reside, according to the prophecies. But yeah, so we'll go Ezekiel 20 and verse 34 says, and I will bring you out from the people, and we will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And that's referring to the day when Yahweh Shem Yahushai ago gather his elect, right? Gather his elect, save his people from among these nations where we have served whether we serve bondage or we over there to all manner of evil, but mainly it's going to avenge us, from the hands of these nations, especially the so-called white man, which again is the nation of Edom, according to the Bible. All right, it says, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord God. Right. So just like how we exodus out of Egypt, same we are going exodus out of this Egypt. You know what I mean? We'll go to the wilderness. The Most High is gonna purge out who the rebels and who forget purged out. And yeah, we're gonna go into the kingdom, and all of this, so we are see right now, will come to an end. All of the suffering, how people are suffer, um, the the lack of laws has made our people into beasts. Just look at how how people behave on the internet. Whether it want be the women, the men, them, the children, it's just beast like behavior. So like, yeah, one thing we I forgot to mention is that the the nation of Israel Salakia, the nation of Israel consists of not just black people, Salakia, but a lot of our people are the Native American Indians, right? The Native American Indians, them are the tribe of Gad, you know. Them are Israelite as well. The same Native American Indians that were driven out by the Europeans, piece by piece, their land was taken, they were removed until to this day, them just depend some little reservation thing, you know, when the entire continent of America, or if you say the entire you continent of America belonged to these Gadites, right? But they were removed, killed, beaten, re-educated. Man, it's crazy. Um, so the Native American Indians, they are Israelites as well, and also the Latino tribes, Zime, Brazil's, so like Brazil, the Chileans, most of South America are Israelites, yo. You see me? The Brazilians, the Puerto Ricans, um, Mexicans. Mexico are the tribe of Issachar, which um, that's one of the most vivid of all the tribes, in my opinion, when it comes to their prophecy, right? It says Issachar is an ass crouching down. You see me? It basically describe them as working animal or mule. You see me? And the way why I said this prophecy is so vivid is because you can see it day by day. There's pop culture references, there's jokes all over the internet about how Mexicans are hard workers, are them work for anything, you know. Yes, yeah. So that are one of the most vivid prophecies then when it comes to the children of Israel. Um, this is I could go. I think this is gonna be the last precept. Let me actually find the precept here on the the comment section of the sister video, the young sister's video. Oh, this is Psalm 106 and verse 39. And it says, thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. So um the Lord is the one who gave us into the hands of these other nations to do whatever them will with us. You know, them bring we in a slavery, them do all manner of wickedness to people, you know. Not just not just the so-called white man, but even the other nations as well. The Elamites, them play a part in our destruction. Um, the Moabites, even to this day, you know, you have the Syrians, the Indians, them. I can't remember the exactly them tribes, Salakia. I can't remember them exact the name of their exact nation from the biblical standpoint, but the Chinese, them are the Moabites. But these Indians were who own all of the jewelry store, them would sell with the crap them, you see me, and the Chinese them are basically the ones them were among the people and I get all the benefits, you see me, because them can do anything what they want in our countries and in our neighborhoods, you know. Especially out in Jamaica, these Chinese them set up businesses and run them business for years tax free, years upon years upon years. And once them reach a certain amount of time, them change the name of the business, um, and have a different member of them family run the business. That's how them operate. They and it's not far fetched because you have people out here in Jamaica will do that. Them have them business and in order for not pay a certain tax, them change the name of them business every every few years or whatever, you know, and then franchise out and do them thing. You see. So yeah, these nations all play a part in our downfall, you know. But in the end, the Lord shall avenge us against these nations. Everything that we suffered under their hands, they shall suffer under our hands as well. Verse 40 says, their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry, and he remembered for them this covenant, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. Right, so in the end, even though people go off continuously, them continuously get brought into slavery, Assyrian captivity, Babylonian captivity, um, Persian, what again, Roman, to this captivity we're in and now, where people still go off and do whatever they want to do. But because the Most High is merciful to Israel, and he had made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that is the why we're gonna get delivered, because he made that promise, right? And his word no go void. His word no come back to him void, You see me? All right, it's verse 46. He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. Save us, O Lord our God, and gather us from among the heathen, to give thanks unto thy holy name, and to triumph in thy praise. Blessed be the God of Israel from everlasting to everlasting, and let all the people say, Amen. Praise ye the Lord. Right, so hopefully this was edifying. We want to give our praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakakodash, the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim pushing this word sincerely and in truth.